What's up, guys? Welcome back to Simply FPL. It's Wednesday, and that can only mean one thing: Game Week 11 team reveal. So, I'm going to have a quick look at my team going into Game Week 11. The last 24 hours, we've seen a few random injuries in Premier League, and also the Newcastle Aston Villa game is postponed. So, there's going to be a bit of a shock in my team, but we'll get straight into that. So, there's the shock. I'm putting myself in net. So it's been a good season for me so far, and I think it's time for me to step up to the plate. Martinez is out injured, so I'm going to... Well, actually, he's not injured. He's not going to play a game. So I'm putting myself in. I'm confident that I'll be able to get some sort of return. All jokes aside, so I actually don't have a goalkeeper this week. So my number one is Martinez. My number two is Steer. So I'm not willing to take a 4-point loss to put a goalkeeper in, because the goalkeeper will have to keep a clean sheet just to break even. And I'm not looking to get rid of Martinez anytime soon, certainly not with all of his price increases. So I think it's going to be much better if I don't make a sub and just have 0 points this week for the goalkeeper. Now, there is a situation which I'm keeping an eye on which might change my mind. So, first of all, Villa are going to have a couple of double game weeks coming up now, right? So bare minimum, they'll have 2 games in hand. So we're all going to want to get 3 Villa players at some point. Big problem for me is I've got Steer in goal on my bench. So at some point, I might have to get rid of him for a 4-point hit just to change him for a bench player. So I'm going to keep an eye on Burnley this week, because Nick Pope was obviously injured last week, and that meant that Peacock Farrell played, and he's only 4 million in fantasy football. So Nick Pope will probably be back this weekend against Everton, but if during the Friday press conferences Nick Pope, for whatever reason, isn't playing, I'm going to swap Steer for Peacock Farrell. So what that means is I still take the 4-point loss, but I'm going to get some of those points back, hopefully. Well, hopefully not, because I'm an Everton fan, so hopefully Peacock Farrell finishes on -5. But yeah, you'd assume I'm going to get some of those points back. So that's the only situation where I'll make that change, and it's purely because I want to get rid of Steer eventually anyway. So this way it'll just allow me to do it with less risk. Other than that, we're not going to have a goalkeeper. So looking at the back line, again, on paper, this team looks great, but a lot of problems. So Chilwell and James had returns the last 6 game weeks now. Is it 7? I think it's 6. Chelsea defence just look unbelievable. They're not facing hardly any shots in games. Problem is Leeds, they're the team creating the most chances. So I'm not expecting a clean sheet. Now, look, attacking returns are going to be where I'm going to be hopeful for these two lads. James put in some amount of crosses last week, and also Chilwell is always in the box trying to get on the end of them. So I'm fairly happy having the 2 Chelsea lads in my team, medium to long term. I just think they've always got a chance at getting returns at either end of the pitch. So not expecting defensive returns, but they're in there and I'm happy enough. Cancelo, look, I don't expect him to play. He played 90 minutes last night in the Champions League, which means Mendy will probably play. I think in the short to medium term, I'll be getting rid of Cancelo. Not a main priority for me, though. My main priority is to fix my midfield. I've got a fairly good plan for that. So I'm going to leave Cancelo in just in case he plays. I obviously want to play him against Fulham. Likelihood is he won't play, and the disaster is if he comes on for a few minutes, but I'm willing to take that risk because my bench just has Soufal on it against Man United, and I think the chance of them getting a clean sheet are quite low, so I'm willing to take the risk. But if Cancelo doesn't play, then Soufal's just going to come on the pitch, and sure, nothing changes there. The midfield then. So, James Rodriguez, we might be bidding goodbye to him after this week. So, look, it's been a really emotional roller coaster. Certainly being an Everton fan, having James Rodriguez in my team for the last 10 game weeks. Had the big double-digit hauls early on, and then it's just been disappointment really ever since. Last week kind of summed up James Rodriguez's fantasy football season so far. Scored a lovely goal, millimetres offside, then got an assist, maybe like not too many minutes later, but it was ruled out because another player kind of got in the keeper's view, and the keeper wasn't getting there anyway, but it's just the way the offside rule is. So I think on another day, without VAR, he could have cleaned up. He could have got 15 plus points. As it happens, he finished on 2. So giving him one last run out against Burnley. Don't expect much just because I've kind of Everton have just been playing so bad recently. But it's still James Rodriguez. He's still lethal on the ball. Big problem for Everton is just that they don't have any wing backs right now. And that's where all the kind of chances are coming from. So look, Rodriguez is probably going out. I'm thinking of doing something with my midfield that might involve a 4-point hit to get Mo Salah in. It might involve upgrading Son to Salah, downgrading Rodriguez to maybe Rafinha at Leeds, someone like that. Otherwise, I'll just swap him straight for Grealish. I'm going to have to get Grealish eventually with all these double game weeks. It's kind of a no-brainer. Kevin De Bruyne. So last week, he was unlucky to only get 10 points against Burnley. I mean, he could have got 30 points. It was a crazy game. City absolutely pumped them. And I think that he's going to be the most captain player this week. If you've got Kevin De Bruyne, you're captaining him. So there's no other player to pick right now. For me, one of the few guaranteed starters in Man City's team. He does not get to play Pep Roulette. He's always going to play. Touch wood, so hopefully I've not jinxed that. Playing Fulham at home. I know Fulham had a good game there last week, or at the weekend, but I'm still it's still Fulham. They still face so many shots, and City after last week could be rearing to go. I just think that this is the turn which we kind of hope for City. So yeah, Kevin De Bruyne, confident he's going to be a good scorer this week. Son against Arsenal. So this is interesting. A lot of people are getting rid of Son. I don't think that's smart because Kane is an injury risk now. So Son might just be playing up front, which happy days, right? Playing at home to Arsenal. Arsenal are playing terribly. I think that Son's really going to take the mick out of Arsenal's defence, certainly when Arsenal try and push up and play out from the back. So, yeah, I wouldn't captain Son against Arsenal when I've got De Bruyne against Fulham, but if I didn't have De Bruyne, I mean, I'd be considering it. So I'm quite confident he's going to get a return. I don't see Arsenal having a very good season at all. Bruno Fernandes, the king, the Don, Manchester United, soon-to-be legend, West Ham away. What can you say? It's just going to be standard Bruno, right? He's going to get in the box lots, have several chances, create several chances, score none of them, and then ping in 2 penalties in the 95th minute. So, yeah, he's definitely going to get us some returns, right? I think Fernandes could be the long-term play for me. I think his price is just too good to get rid. He's, again, I think I'm just going to keep saying this because I heard the stat a few weeks ago, and it's just brilliant. He had 30 more points than Salah since he signed for United. So that alone is reason not to spend that extra $2 million on Salah. So he's in my team, and he's probably not going to leave it anytime soon. And we've brought in Jota. So we got rid of Barkley because he was injured. Coincidence, obviously, that Villa are not playing anyway, so he would have gone regardless. And we brought in Jota. He was brought off last night, which is a great omen because he wasn't injured. To be honest, if I needed to catch people up this week, or if we were near the end of the season and it was this situation, I'd consider captaining him. Now, it's a massive risk because maybe he won't get his place in the squad all of a sudden. But I just don't see how he isn't playing. He's playing so well. He's scoring goals. Firmino's not exactly light in the Premier League up at the moment. So his price is 6.8 million. He should be 9+ million. He is the bargain of all bargains, and he should be in everyone's team. So if you don't have him right now, I think you've really got to make plans to get him eventually. Wolves at home, going back to his old team. I expect him to get some sort of return, not celebrate it, but at home we'll all be chuffed. So, that's the midfield. It's probably the best midfield I've had in a long time in fantasy football. The second I can upgrade Rodriguez to Salah and, change Rodriguez to Grealish and upgrade Son to Salah, I think that's the perfect 5 midfield right now. So, look, that's what we're kind of aiming for. And I think it's very possible once we get rid of Jamie Vardy. So eventually Jamie Vardy will go and we'll use that money to bump up the midfield. There's plenty of guys to swap for him. I'm still loving getting Antonio. Came off at half-time there last week, but I don't think it was injury related. I just think he is not necessarily match fit. Second, he's back playing 90 minutes. We're going to swap Vardy for him. Antonio, again, he's going to be the bargain of the season if he can play. Injuries are going to be the worry, but let's stick to this week. Calvert-Lewandowski. Honestly, every single video, every single team reveal, several people leave a comment saying, I don't know if you know, but that's not Calvert-Lewandowski. It's actually a different guy, someone playing in Germany. I did look into it, and actually that is Calvert-Lewandowski. So look, you've made a mistake, but look, we all make mistakes. So Calvert-Lewandowski is in the team. There he is playing Burnley away. Big problem for him is just we don't have the wing-backs playing for Everton at the moment, so his service is going to be dry, but it's still Calvert-Lewandowski. He's scored or got a return in almost every game this season. Confident that he'll get something against Burnley, especially if Nick Pope is out. So, yeah, let's see what happens. And a lot of people have been taking him out of their team. I'm not buying into that right now, just because I've got other plans with my midfield and obviously with Jamie Vardy, and there's no way I'm taking a 4-point loss to get rid of Calvert-Lewin. So it'll be at least 3, 4, 5 game weeks before I can even consider getting rid of Calvert-Lewin. I just don't see what more you want from someone that costs £7 million to begin with. He can blank he can blank every other game week and still be an absolute bargain. So I'm not going to panic because Everton had a bad game last week. Jamie Vardy, last week having him captained and Leicester managed to lose to Fulham. Jamie Vardy produced almost nothing, and then in the last few minutes, the ball floats over to him. He should have headed it straight into the net. For some reason, he makes an outrageous head back to I can't remember who finished it in the end, but they pinged it into the goal. It was a fairly nice finish, and Vardy gets himself an assist. Very, very lucky. He should have finished that game with 2 points, but we'll take the 5 double to 10. Sheffield United, they've conceded the most fantasy football points. There's a stat for you. So I've seen that on Twitter there early in the week. Of all the teams in the Premier League this season, the most fantasy football points have been gained against Sheffield United. So let's hope that Leicester can be back and Vardy can get back on the score sheet, because we're only going to keep him for 2 more game weeks. So we want to make sure we get a decent return for the gamble we made. Looking at our bench, so yeah, I think Soufal is going to come in for Cancelo. We don't have any other subs. It's just the way it is right now. We're happy enough. Everyone else seems to be a first-team starter. And our team value, 103.7 million, including the money in the bank. Look, I'm a big value guy. When it comes to getting to the end of the season, you want to be 105, 106, 107 million, because that's when you really get the points. So I'm still in the top million. I think I'm about 600,000th at the moment. We're really set up nicely to attack after Christmas. What we'll find is we've got extra budget where other people are struggling, and squad value is quite important for that. So yeah, that's the team. Let me know what you think about that. So yeah, and that's the video. Yeah, I don't really have any requests. If you like the video and want to subscribe. If not, don't. Yeah, so everyone have a good game week this weekend. Hopefully there's no more injuries and cancel games, and we'll see you on the other side we'll probably have another stream on Sunday. So yeah, best of luck and take it easy.